Alright, welcome to the fastest video I have done on this channel so far. In the last two videos were approaching exceeding 1 hour. This is going to be more close to 5 minutes. I'm basically going to teach you the basics of Photoshop. Great. Okay, so I'm busy. Now, Photoshop is basically how to take an unedited photo to a place where you have an edited photo ready to go and print in large and be perfect. That means no clients issues with that. It's just perfect. Okay, so let's just go into how this is a raw photo. It is the basics startup, and if we go close we can notice there is a little bit of shiny spots. There is maybe needs a little bit of light under his eyes, and there's a teenager with a pimple here. There's a mother, also some shine, and actually the older we get, the more our skin has a tendency to shine. So that's completely normal. This what we're looking at here. We're looking at dirt on the ground, which is very normal, and some strange lighting issue coming in here. It looks like it's coming from the sun or whatever. So we have a Photoshop file. The Photoshop file is basically like this. It goes like this. It has a it's called a layered file. It means that there's a layer first. On the bottom we have the original file. Then on top of that we have a file where I have removed all the noise, the dirt, all the issues with the skin and so on. That's been gone. Then there is some layers on top of that which has to do with lighting issues. Make it darker, make it lighter, and so on. And the typical ones I use is called levels and curves, and they're just very good. Now this is the finished Photoshop file. So now over here where I'm moving the mouse, you'll see there is some we call that layers, and I start by clicking them off, and we go all the way down to almost the file I introduced you before, except that I've done a little bit of it like this. So the level of mom and dad is better. If you go back and look at the video, you'll be able to see that on a completely unedited file, it was actually the father was much higher placed than the mom, and that didn't look so good. Anyway, so if we go close now, this is how it looked. And then if we, where I have my mouse now, press this one, you go to the edited version, and you see that it's still the same guy, but he's just there are some skin issues which has been handled. And we go to the mother, we also see that these skin issues I showed before are handled. And if you go to the teenager, he had a pimple here, it's gone. If we go to the ground, everything is looking very neat and nice. It's been nicely vacuumed, except I spot this, but there is probably something which handles that. Let's initiate the next levels here, the next layers here, so we see what happens. See here, this you can actually also handle certain problems with the ground by just making it so light that it's not there anymore. That's what's done here. And you can see there is some lighting going on here in the faces. All of a sudden they're lighter. Now we are changing the background a little bit also to make it more even. And then we're going into black and white, because the next one looks, oh, they're not getting too light now, but this is because we're going into black and white. And if we didn't do that, you see that if we go into black and white, then it looks a little bit dark, but we have to bring up the contrast even a bit further for the black and white. And that is a sort of like finished version. I might even say that it's a little bit too, I'll bring it down a little bit, just a notch here. So I decided to bring out take one of the levels down a little bit like this. I think it looks more natural. Good. And so now we save it, and we scale it with to the actual printing measures which are going to be used for this, which is a rather large file. And the reason I have my start file in JPEG and my going to the laboratory also in JPEG, and some will say, why isn't there a raw file? The completely unedited information from the camera is because I have a rather controlled workflow where the temperature of the lamps, the flashes, are rather controlled. So I don't need to have, and also if you want to send, I have a, I noticed that on the previous videos I say I have a 50K camera. That's a 50,000 pixel. That's not what I meant. I meant 50 million. It's a 50 bigger pixel camera, so it produces rather large files. And if I have a photo session which I send to the client, which is 100 photos, it's 1.5 gigabyte, and that's a lot. And if I made that into raw footage, it will be too much. Okay, so I use JPEG for my workflow, and I use a high resolution camera, and it's all good. Now, what about the naming of the folder here? That's important. I put here customer folder. It's because I have promised everyone being part of these videos that their name and phone numbers will not be revealed. So, but I basically usually put that the customer's name is here and the phone number is here. That's very important. You want to be able to locate a customer in case their house burns down, they want the photo made again, or something like that. It could also simply be that the grandparents want a smaller edition for Christmas, so we bring out the file and we can easily produce it. And we can also, let's say that the grandparents want it in color. Well, we want to have the Photoshop file, because then we can just peel the last 3 layers off, and then we have a color file completely ready with all the editing already done. So that's the reason why you want to have your files in order like this. When I make a photo shoot, I actually have one more thing here. I have a folder which is called, I call it raw, and in that I have all the discarded photos which were not used by the customer, and then after 3 months those are deleted also. In those 3 months you might have a customer calling and say, what about that photo with blah blah blah, do you still have that, because we thought about that and we also want that. So after 3 months nobody remembers, so I delete them, and it goes on storage like this. And I can reach back as far as I think 25 years or so, and I can find clients and so on. You actually have sometimes that the kids here want to come back and have this family photo on their wall. So it's very nice to have on file. Okay, now I'm completely exhausted because I talked so fast, and I wonder how much time I used. 8 minutes of going for 5 minutes. Sorry, didn't keep my promise there, but it was still a very fast video compared to the 2 previous ones. And I don't intend to be this fast talking, you know, down the line. The magic about what I'm going to talk about is actually not how to do a technically perfect photo and technically perfect Photoshop. It's how to do this. What are you looking at? You're looking at 5 people being completely relaxed. How do you do that? They just came in the door. And how do you get them to be completely relaxed? That's the magic. And I'm going to spill a little bit of that gold in between me talking about the editing. So you just have to hang in there and wait for me to say something interesting, because the editing, there's a lot of people who can do that, and there's a lot of people who can make a sharp photo. That's not the thing. When you're a portrait photographer, the important thing is that you can get people to be there and be photographed, and you can snap your fingers at the right time. Not snap your fingers, but press the shutter. All right, now I'm approaching 10 minutes and we can't have that. So I'm going to remember what is I'm supposed to say. I'm supposed to say hit share and like and subscribe. You do me a big favor by doing that, of course, because it's a brand new channel and it needs support. And and you have to believe in me. You have to think, oh, he's going to get better. This is his third video, and now I have gone past 10 minutes. So I'm going to call it off for today and say that was that. Thanks for hanging around.